Feasts are movable. Obviously, there's no point having a feast that's bolted down, is there? It's not in the nature.
You get a sort of a buffet tray, don't you? And then often those are on wheels. So I suppose that's a movable feast, isn't it?
Yes. I think that's presumably where the phrase.
So it's sort of a hotelier-based phrase, isn't it?
So we're talking about a trolley, basically, aren't we?
Yeah, so a tray on wheels is a trolley, I suppose, isn't it? And then you've got the continental breakfast on top. And then underneath you'd have all the teas and coffees and that sort of thing.
Yes. Who have we got this week?
Burt.
Hello?
Burt
Williamson.
You've met me before, Walter.
That's actually fair play to him. That's terrific, isn't it?
What is?
The stage name Williamson.
It is good.
Because this is a good learning point for the audience, actually. What Burt has done, well done, mate. Very, very good, first off. Before he's even got onto the stage, the MC will call out on his name, welcome to the stage, Burt Williamson. And they'll be thinking, where's the apostrophe? And already, it's not funny,
right?
But already,
there's
Williams. Is it Williamson or is it Williamson? Or Williamsons?
It's just Williams. It's just Williamson.
Williamsons
stuck in their minds.
It's a pretty common surname.
Fantastic. Very good. Where is that something you? How did you come up with that?
I was born mainly. My parents. That's their surname. That's how that works. So.
So that's their surname, Williamson.
And they're not performers.
So then, logically then...
If you follow it,
it gets you to Williamson, doesn't it?
Yes. If you have a son or daughter, I suppose. Williamson daughter.
Well, yeah, that's a mouthful, isn't it? I wouldn't have a daughter. He probably shouldn't have a daughter then.
No.
Ideally.
Try and have a son if you can.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Okay. Where's my hot chocolate?
Well, welcome, Burt, by the way.
Welcome.
Well done.
Thank you. Well done. Lovely to be here. Happy to work on some jokes. Excited to see what we can work on.
So you got something about yogurt, I think.
Yeah, no, that was... I quite like that joke. It ended up in Telegraph's Joke to the Fringe, so yeah.
How about that? The Daily Telegraph, never mind. So yeah, if you'd like to read out your joke,
sure.
We'll see where we can...
Okay.
What have you got there? Sausage roll?
Sausage roll.
Did you know yogurt was invented over 7,000 years ago? To contextualise that, the spoon invented 3,000 years ago. That's 4,000 years before someone thought, there must be another way.
There's a lot of numbers in that, aren't there?
Is that the spoon?
7,000. It's like one of those maths questions you used to get.
What was that? That's 14,000 years or so.
4,000.
Yes.
4,000.
That's too much for you, isn't it?
People are going to be thinking about those numbers.
No, but
they won't hear the punchline.
But I say that in the joke, 4,000 years. You don't have to do any maths.
What if instead of... You've said 1,000 too many times there, isn't he? You're not supposed to repeat words. So
yes.
What if it was just 7, 3 and 4? And then it's easier, isn't it?
First rule of comedy, be succinct.
And I think the less work your audience are doing, the funnier...
They're not doing any work.
Oh, right.
If they're spending all the time on the mental arithmetic, they've used up, they're not going to be laughing, are they, at the end of that?
Give it another...
There must be another way. I think there must be another way. I think you're right enough there.
Well,
making it simpler. 7, 3 and 4. Go that.
What? So don't even mention the thousands. That's less.
Because then it's easy. It's an easier sum, isn't it?
Then it's just wrong.
It's an easier.
That's based on the truth.
It's not a history lesson. It's comedy that we're working on today, not history. Roll with that. Roll with Charlie's idea.
Did you know yogurt was invented 7 years ago. To contextualise that, the spoon was invented 3 years ago. That's 4 years before someone thought, oh, there must be another way.
Better. Don't eat the paper bag by mistake, really, because that's an easy thing to do.
Well, I've made that mistake before.
So, are we done with this one?
Yeah, I think that one's finished.
Finished.
Job well done.
Bert, do you want to do another joke, mate?
Yeah, right. What? Should I do a different one?
Had he done one or two jokes? Where had he got to? Do you remember?
We tried to do
I think
two.
we're on joke number 2.
Okay.
Flakes or things.
It's a recurring theme, that is, isn't it? Okay,
Right.
so yeah, off you go. I can tell people used to think that's how it starts.
Yeah, okay. I can tell people used to think I looked like a nerd because whenever I was in the cinema watching a Marvel movie and people weren't sure whether there was an end credit sequence or not, they'd all look to me to see if I stay.
I don't like Marvel movies.
Do you know they have the end
I'm
credit?
not a fan of the Marvel movie, and I think it turns a lot of people off. That I think a lot of people can be they just sort of turn their noses up at Marvel movies. And
Low brow.
I don't do that. That's not me, but I do sort of look at them and I think I'm not a fan. I think they're a bit beneath me, and I think a lot of people would feel the same way. Why don't you change it to an art house film?
An art house film. They don't really have end credit sequences.
And then you'll capture that sort of
Yes. You'll
Slightly-
pull in the slightly...
higher audience.
And you might start to pull in a slightly better audience. What sort of audiences do you get? Is it mostly an older audience?
No,
Like
it's
this
sort of,
history stuff?
yeah, it's sort of like, people seem to like my stuff. Yeah, sort of my age. Young professional, that sort of vibe.
Well, you'll be a lot better off with the art house than I'd have thought, as Charlie's saying.
Art house, I don't think they call them movies, so change it to art house film.
Film, okay.
And the rest of it,
I'll just get rid of it.
end credit sequence.
Do you know what I'm talking about though?
That's a tiresome. Too many dull words. End, credit. End is a bit of a downer, isn't it? It's kind of an end, and we all, it gets you thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Credit, sequence. It's just words, isn't it? So yeah, I think you're right. Cut that out. Go straight to. I mean, it could be Louis Buñuel. Any of those art house French Nouvelle Vague people would do.
I don't know that.
Go with that.
Yes.
Don't worry about that. Just go art house.
Okay. Film.
Don't say movie, because
Okay.
that's gonna.
So just go. I can tell people used to think I looked like a nerd because whenever I was watching an art house film and people weren't sure whether there was an end credit sequence or not.
No, we said cut that.
Okay.
Didn't we? We said cut that out.
So the joke is, I can tell people used to think I was a nerd because whenever I was watching an art house film,
It's coming.
It's very good.
Coming. Yeah, lovely.
I think that's good.
Yes.
It's lacking a little something at the end because you
I think it is, yeah, I do think it is.
You've ended the sentence halfway through.
Yes,
for
I
some
have.
reason.
Oh.
And we didn't say to do that. We just said to cut the end credit sequence.
okay.
So you haven't quite listened there, which is going to be an issue going forward.
All right.
You do need to listen.
Yes.
Could you pass me a check?
Of course. What is your Bakewell? We've got the Bakewells. You got what have you got in here?
Oh, actually, yes, I've forgotten about that. Let's have that.
What have we got in there?
It's a mutton.
Parsons. Are they our sponsors for today?
Yes, Parsons. We should read the Parsons.
Don't spill your hot chocolate.
I won't.
That's looking precarious.
I won't. It's fine. It's tucked in. Parsons, bake the good stuff. And then it's a raspberry and chocolate muffin.
Oh, perhaps we could share that. Do you
Yes,
think?
absolutely. Yeah.
I tell you what I was thinking is this is perfect because what we're doing is we're baking in the quality So the jokes of failing comedians.
Yes.
Well, no, we don't call them failing comedians. That's fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So one last time. Let's see if we can get it right this time.
It's all about being a concentration. Concentration.
Okay, I'll
Write it
concentrate.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, off we go.
I can tell people used to think I looked like a nerd because whenever I was watching an art house film and people weren't sure whether there was they'd all look to me to see if I'd stay.
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
It's actually
I did exactly as you asked.
not exactly as we asked.
No. You also need to try and bring your own comedic voice to this. I feel like you're sort of parroting Charlie's advice there for the most part.
I told you what to say, but not how to say it.
Well, in your expert opinion, what would you regard as my comedic voice?
That's such a good question. Let's address that.
Yes, let's.
What is your comedic voice, Bert? It's not. We wouldn't want to presume to tell you.
Shall we move on from that one? Because I think we've kind of done everything we can with it.
Yeah.
Giving it our best shot. And go.
Okay. Well, I can tell we're way more attractive now as a species. I bet if any of us went back into the past, we'd get laid all the time. And I can prove it to you. Every single time I've had sex has been in the past. It's like a little logic joke.
Logic joke. Any thoughts on this one?
Well, of course they have been in the past.
Yeah.
You can't have sex in the future, can you?
That's the joke.
Well, you can, but not yet. I'm looking at each of these jokes individually and thinking no.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, what if he ran this one? Can we try this a minute? What if he ran this one with the yogurt one and said something about I haven't had sex for 4,000 years.
Yeah.
And then something about yogurt. I'm just workshopping this now. Sex, 4,000 years, yogurt. Do you think?
Yes, that sounds perfect. That sounds very good.
So the joke is I fuck with yogurt.
I don't think you want to make it crude.
You don't want to put
It
that.
feels pretty crude.
No. The jokes are often about what you don't say, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely they are. Absolutely they are. That's
A lot of your jokes
keystone.
you don't say very much at all, do you? And that's brilliant.
I'm a quiet comedian. So, Bert, run with that. Let's hear that in your comedic voice.
I've not had sex in 4,000 years. I hope I can with a yogurt. Is that it?
Oh, that sounded a little bit desperate.
Did.
You want to sound more upbeat?
I've not had sex in 4,000 years. I hope I can with a yogurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
That is better.
that sounded like Burt Williamson.
Very good.
That didn't. No.
You made that your own.
I've given that 2 ticks, actually.
There's a lot of stereotypes about us public school boys that were detached, unable to process our emotions. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah. Right. Well, you touched on something very rich here, I think. There are a lot of stereotypes about public school boys, aren't there?
All right. Yeah.
So you can explore that. Very entitled,
Bigoted.
rude, obsessed with lowering the inheritance tax,
I'm not.
Sort of virtue signalling Guardian reading.
smug,
Pompous.
smug,
There's loads there, isn't there? We said smug already.
just a complete lack of self-awareness.
Pleased with themselves.
And each other.
Rude.
Yeah. Did we say bigoted?
It's worth repeating because it's one of the
You know. I went to.
Pushy in hospitality settings.
rude to waiters and waitresses alike.
No, try to be nice.
Just demanding.
No.
Think they're better than everybody else.
I don't.
Snobbish. Snobs.
Snobs. Basically, that almost sums it up, doesn't it? So you're right. There's a rich seam there.
The broader joke is I went there on a scholarship anniversary, so I'm not really from that background that you're alluding to.
I wouldn't go. I think that's just going into too much detail. Jokes need to be pithy.
Any closing thoughts?
Oh, wait.
I can feel the difference in Burt.
Can you?
I feel different from when I walked in
He
here.
came in here a little nervous, a little unsure of himself. He's going to leave this room a comedian.
He's going to leave this room with that public school confidence.
A spring in his step, and a step in his spring. Because it is spring soon, isn't it?
It is. A couple of months away. So maybe you shouldn't have that already.
No.
Because it's still icy around sometimes at this time of year, so you don't want to spring too much.
True. Health and safety.
A very bad idea to have a spring in your step when there's ice on the roads. So be careful.
Yeah.
Go steady.
We know it's gone well today, but still be careful out there when you're walking about.
Yeah.